Ariana TK asked, should I look for a label as a producer? My goal is to get big and make a living. Here's my thought. Can labels help you as a producer? Yes. When you're a new producer, should you seek out labels to put you on? In my belief, no. I think that the best way to go in 2021 is to focus on building your own brand. Can a label fit into that? Yes. But in the beginning, when you have small numbers and you don't have a big following, or you're just getting started, you're working on your sound and you're trying to get better, it's better to avoid looking for someone else to put you on and instead building up your own brand, getting your music out there, getting more followers, more fans, building your own brand image. And through that brand building, intending for labels to be attracted to you. The problem is when you approach a label and you haven't built yourself up, one word, your problem is a lack of leverage. Think of the word leverage. Spell it out and see it on your forehead in your mind. Leverage. I want you guys to all understand what that is. Leverage is power. And when you're starting out in the game and you have no following, no leverage, you have no power. Labels, if they are drawn to you, will be more apt to taking a bigger cut, for example. Until you build your brand up to a certain point, you really don't have leverage. Once you have leverage, that's when different labels, different companies, different entities will be drawn to you. So you want to build leverage first. Once you do that, you have more choices. It's not really about how can I get with a label so I can get put on, so I can be a big artist that makes big money. When you have that kind of mindset, you are putting the power outside of yourself. Anytime you put the power outside of yourself, you lose your own leverage. You lose a certain aspect of your own power and control. And you're forced to say yes to things that don't necessarily fit your vision because of a bag or something like that. Do you guys know how many times I say no a day? I have built my brand to a point where I have leverage. And I have lots of influencers, companies, labels reaching out to me every single day. And I'm saying no all the time. The reason I say no is because I built leverage and I know my worth. And my worth is established, so I have a certain price and a certain standard that I can stick to. So when labels, companies, entities, artists, whoever it is approach me, I say yes or no based on if it matches what I price myself out as. I say yes to big, great opportunities, and I say no to all the other opportunities. I think that from an independent artist perspective, focus on building your brand, building your leverage, so you can say no to all kinds of stuff, and you can say yes to the right stuff. That's the goal. And in order to know when to say yes or no, you have to be clear about where you're going and what you want. Otherwise, you might say no to something you should be saying yes to and saying yes to something you should be saying no to. The word should is dependent on what your goal is as an artist. And the more specific you can be, you'll know on a day-to-day basis when to say yes to a circumstance and when to say no to a circumstance. Sometimes you won't know whether to say yes or no. There's those times too. And then that's when you have to really think it through. Does that make sense? That was actually a major gem, guys. I need you guys to memorize that. EIVN said, I don't disagree, but it sounds fire to suddenly be able to live off music, and a label can help you with that. Look, not everyone is built the same way. All I ever really wanted to do was make music, and I just enjoyed it. Through that process, I became an entrepreneur. Would it be nice to just make music and have a label support you? Yeah, that would be nice. And I think there are some people who are in those situations. Unfortunately, we've had decades of labels with predatory behavior against artists. The sad part of it is whenever you have your hand out, hey, give me money so I can live and just do my music. Whenever you have that kind of mind state, you're always at a disadvantage. So yes, it would be fire to just have your pockets lined by someone who believes in you. The problem with that is you're not really in control. And I'm the kind of person that likes freedom over all else. I'm not really looking for someone to pay all my bills. I'm looking to build my own career and my own foundation from the ground up. And I think that is, in my opinion, a more appropriate method in 2021. Because look, what if that label goes under? Then what do you do? What's your leverage then? The only thing you've built is what you've built with that label. How are you going to be guaranteed another position? If you are always in command and in control of your steps, then you'll have a better position overall. Guys, don't expect a label to just reach out to you one day and have it made. Like, that's just not the way it works in this game. You have to build your leverage. Even back in the day when labels were the thing, artists were selling tapes out of their trunk. I had a friend of mine who reached out to some labels and he was trying to get signed. And he reached out to one independent label and he asked, what are the requirements for you to sign an artist like me? And you know what the label told him? Oh, well, we will have a conversation with you once you sell 20,000 CDs. So once you, on your own, sell 20,000 physical CDs, we'll have a conversation with you. I think there's some artists with the illusion that, hey, if I make good enough music, a label will find me. Wrong. It's not going to happen. The bottom line is in 2021, it's about building your brand. And it always has been about that. If you happen to be a lucky case where a label does find you, like you're an extraordinary talent, how are you going to ensure that your career lasts more than 5 minutes? How are you going to ensure that they don't drop you? If they drop you, guess what? You're on your how are you going to eat? This is a tough business. I hope none of you guys have the idea that this is going to be handed to you. When I'm here talking to you guys, I'm giving you guys real facts. Like, this is not for the weak. You have to be ready to go in at this. And you have to be ready to put your whole self into this business. You're not going to just sit back and make music and somebody's going to reach out to you and pay your bills. That's not how that works, guys. I'm sorry. This is a challenge. You have to always be engaged. You have to always be building. If you think this is handed to you, you're in for a rude awakening. Now, will you have moments where you level up and where you get some recognition? Maybe you'll get a bag. Yes, if you work your ass off, build a brand, get your stuff out there, you'll have moments where you're handed things that help you level up. A company might reach out to you, a record label might reach out to you, a supporter might reach out to you. That does happen, but you gotta put in the work. Don't expect handouts in this game. And if you do get handouts, good for you. But most of us, it doesn't work that way. What do you guys think about that? Do you agree with me on that or disagree? Sonny Beats said, Kenny said something similar. He got leverage before the Universal Publishing deal. Exactly. Build your leverage first. I know people who get handed deals, and that's great. But guess what? If you don't have any leverage, that deal means nothing. You might have gotten $100,000, but that's a 5-album production deal or whatever. If the label's not working for you, guess what? You're just stuck in a deal and you can't eat anywhere else. So what's the point? Do not think the way this works is someday a label's going to find me and I'm going to be made. Hell no. Listen to these words I'm saying in your ears. You have to make it happen. You have to make it happen. This is on you. This is not on someone helping you. No one's going to reach out and help you. You need to help yourself to the point where they have to help you because you're making so much dope stuff. You're putting your content out there. You're expanding your audience. Help yourself. That's the way I look at it, but I want to hear what you guys think too. Elvin said, great response. I know some local artists and they say it's very hard working with a label if you're not one of the prioritized artists within that label. Exactly right. You might get a deal, you might get a bag, but guess what? You might get shelved and now you're stuck in a publishing deal with no placements and nobody cares about you. And now you're stuck with that little bag. It's just how it goes. Now what do? I'm in that situation. Well, now work your ass off and get those placements, hustle, and make it happen. It's Tyro Music said, I saw a quote the other day, something along the lines of be undeniable, be so great that people cannot deny your talent. Quote that, screenshot that. That is the game. Be undeniable. Be so good at what you do that labels have to reach out. Be so good at what you do and have a brand so good that companies, labels, publicists, everybody is just drawn to you. That's the game, guys. That is the game. HGC said, hell, if I'm selling 20K by myself, I'm betting on myself. F a label. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And you know what? If a label approaches you and they have something where they can help you and it's a win-win, do that. I work with some labels and it's a win-win situation. The label wins and I win. That's the ideal. That's why artists who think that, oh, I'm going to have a label, just help me win, it just doesn't happen that way for most people. Maybe you're the exception, but at the end of the day, you got to make your own luck and then provide value. That's the name of the game in business. You have to be value driven. You have to always look at how you can bring value to a situation. How can I get value? No, that ain't the game. The game is how can I bring value to the table? Not how can I get, how can I give? That's the game. Guys, ingrain that in your brain right now. Every moment, every situation you're in, every room you're in, Every time you're in the room with another human being, think about how you can bring value to that situation. Got it? Wherever you are, whoever you're engaged with, think about how you can bring value. When you do that, you will become a value creator. Some people, I know you're thinking, how can I get? They go into every room, how can I get from you? They go into this room, how can I get? They go over here, how can I get? That is a toxic attitude, and it's an attitude that will get you nowhere. Always think about how you can give value in every moment, and that will change your life. If you do this, practice it every day. Think about how you can give, and it will change your life. DECAP.